Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so several months ago, I put out a video in which I talked about the after school Satan club, that the satanic temple and the rest of them were pushing on different schools in the United States of America. And most of our Christian children are being brainwashed into becoming a part of that Satan club. And I was literally losing my mind because I knew straight away that this was the devil's plan to destroy our children. One of the many plans that he has to destroy our children. And now, just a few days ago, I got this video that really gave me chills. Like, this is a video of a song that these guys play for these children to usher them into the after school Satan club. And I want you to listen with me to hear the lyrics of the song.
Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell.
Satan is not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell. This is the song that is played for children who are taking part in a very satanic club that is called After School Satan Club. So your child is being actively initiated into Satanism by listening to this song. And this After School Satan Club is not meant for only Satanists. Christian children are going there because the parents are way too busy to pay attention. So they just tell you whatever they want to tell you, and you say, oh, it's okay. It's cool, it doesn't matter. But look at what they're telling your child at this growing formative stage, that hell is not real. So there is no hell. Your child grows up with that. How can that child continue to be a Christian if what we do in Christianity is to warn people against falling into hell? What then is going to scare him from committing sin? Any parent, I don't care who you are, that allows their child to go to a school and then take part in something like this, you need to check your parental skills. You need help from God.
Science is important, so we understand the world. Satan looks for truth. Let's help him, boys and girls. Everyone is different, and that's okay with Satan. He'll always treat you equal, whether you're black, white, or gay.
Science is important so we understand the word. Satan is looking for the truth. Let's help him, boys and girls. And everyone is different. Where have you heard that before? Everyone is different. It's okay with Satan. So whether you are black, white, gay, it's okay. And then at the end, this satanic doll comes up and says, hell isn't real. So back to back, your child had just been told that there is no hell. And then again, hell isn't real. So the mind of the child is already being programmed that this whole story about hell is real, that is preached in the Bible, that the churches are talking about, is just illusion. When I did my video series on CERN, what did I tell you? The science is the medium that Satan had decided to use to counter the supernatural works of God on earth. And this is not to say that I'm against people who are scientists. This is not to say that I'm against the good things that have come out of science, but go and check what I'm telling you today. The devil hides behind science to challenge the supremacy of God, to challenge the work of God, to belittle the work of God. That's what he does. That's why they are talking about science. Everywhere you see Satanism, you see science standing beside it, because it is the medium they use to come and challenge God. That's why in CERN, they use that science. Most of the things you call science today are actually clear-cut New Age mysticism. So when it is diabolical and mystical, they call it science. Science is an umbrella word that covers up all these satanic manifestations in different forms. They call it science, and you accept. How is the stuff going on at CERN called science? How is it called science? This is pure spiritism, mysticism, where you are ushering the demons into the world, where you are opening portals and letting demons come to our world. Those demons are now at play. And you're going to find out as we proceed in this video. They are not functioning all over the place. So many things have become the norm in our world today. And they call it science. Because the devil hides behind science.
When all is said and done, Satan doesn't actually exist. He's an imaginary friend who can teach us how to live.
When all is said and done, Satan doesn't actually exist. He's an imaginary friend who can teach them how to live, not me and my family. And then what did they end it with? Hell. What did the Bible tell us about the devil? He is the father of all lies, the master of illusions. The easiest thing you identify, you know about the church of Satan and the people who follow Satan is that they always overwhelm you with all kinds of lies to keep you confused. The only way the devil is able to hold his captives in place is by confusing them. You just told children that Satan is not an evil guy. In the very next breath, you're telling them that when all is said and done, Satan really doesn't exist. He's only an imaginary friend. Where have you heard imaginary friend before? Is it not in cartoon characters? They say that's fairy. That's my imaginary friend. This is where it came from. And we're going to go down to a video that will explain to you that all these are interconnected, aimed at destroying the innocence of our children. Imaginary friend, my foot. You see how the devil lies and confuses? Oh, Satan is not an evil guy. Which Satan? And then the next minute, oh, he doesn't even exist. Oh, hell doesn't exist. Hell is not real. But still, Satan is not an evil guy. The very next minute. So the person is like, oh, because it is the moment you become confused that you lose your consciousness and allow the devil step into you. If you're still conscious, if you're not confused, you will never be able to fall to the devil. The only way he makes you weak mentally and intellectually and spiritually is to pump as much confusion into you. And look how they are doing to these young minds. Look at the amount of confusion that one song is containing. That's the DNA of Satan. That is the mark of recognition of Satan. Confusion is just here in front of you.
Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And that way there is no bad.
Be sober, be vigilant. It's what the Bible says. Sober and vigilant at the same time. For your adversary, the devil, prowls around seeking whom to devour. They have now chosen our children because the Bible says in Matthew chapter 19 verse 14, the Bible says, leave these little ones, let them come to me, for of these are the kingdom of heaven. Why is the kingdom of heaven reserved for children? Because of their innocence. And the innocence in the children means that they are both naturally and supernaturally potent. When there is equal potency on the natural and supernatural side, you are 100% innocent. But the moment you start losing your innocence, the humanity in you begins to diminish. Your supernatural power begins to diminish. These children have it in full. That's what makes them heaven bound. And that's what the devil is after. The last phase of the devil's onslaught on humanity on this earth, in this end time, it's on children. You have no idea. It's on children. Go to schools and see how kids, babies are having sex like it's nobody's business. Go and see where underage kids are doing things that even adults could not dream of doing back in the days. Because the devil wants to suck up their energy and destroy, defile them, make sure that they never touch anything called heaven. And they don't experience it. You confuse a child before that child even leaves their childhood. So kids are growing confused about who they are. And that's what Disney and the rest of them have chosen to do. Their decision in what I'm about to share with you now will prove to you that these guys have made up their mind that almost every sphere of life, every aspect of life, there must be a satanic installation, a satanic institution somewhere to confuse and confound and destroy our children. So we don't have childhood anymore. Babies become adults too early and offer services and worship to Satan, whether they like it or not. Let's take a look at this next video. I'm not going to say too much in this video because the guy, Isaiah, has explained a lot. So I'm just going to play and maybe stop one or two places and then let you watch the rest of it so you can understand where we're headed in this world. Take a look.
What you're about to see is a call leaked by Disney executives. So the people you're going to see are Disney executives, aka the ones running Disney. And we're going to hear from their mouths what is their plan moving forward. Now there's a long list, too long to count, of Disney films where the parents are dead, the parents die in the movie, where there's no parents at all. We know Disney for over 30 years has been coming against the family structure, but let's listen to them expose themselves. And let me make something very clear. Very clear. This is the devil using Disney to further his agenda of making your children and my children confused about their gender and sexuality. Now, I will pause in between watching this video for the sake of copyright, but I'm telling you, when I watched this leaked call, it absolutely blew my mind, and I thought, finally, what I've been saying for years, people are going to see for themselves from the mouth of Disney. So this is not Isaiah Saldivar editing. This is a call that they made. The girl you're seeing on screen is the corporate president of Disney. So let's listen to their agenda. This is mind-blowing to me. I literally was listening to this going, no way. But yeah, this is crazy. It's sad. And they're literally exposing themselves. So let's watch this.
I'm here as a mother of two queer children, actually, one transgender child and one pansexual child.
So one transgender child and one pansexual child, which I think pansexual means you like anything. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. So this is the president of corporate president of Disney, starting out by saying, just so you know, I'm the parent of two queer children.
And also as a leader. One of our execs stood up and said, you know, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, oh, it actually is true. We have.
Okay, so an executive comes to her and says, hey, we have a big problem at Disney. There's only a few queer leaders in our movies that are content leaders. Like, this is a massive problem for children's movies. We gotta have more queer leaders for children. How could we only have a few queer leaders? Guys, at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, which is the target of Disney's movies, let me just ask you, at 4 and 5 years old, were you worried about having queer leads in the movies you were watching? Did you even know what a queer was? Did you even know about the LGBTQIA agenda? I didn't know anything about it till I was a teenager. I didn't know what trans was. Yet they're like, we got a big problem. There's not enough queer leads. Like,
so, you know, these things don't sound real. So, but let me explain to you what Isaiah is talking about. I'm a filmmaker, I'm an actor, so we know we do lead roles. Like you go into a movie, there's something called a lead role. And what this woman is talking about here is that they are not having enough lead characters that are queer characters in their Disney movies. Remember, she already admitted she has one transgender and one pansexual. So pan is you are in love with either a man or a woman, whichever one you feel like. You fall in love with anyone. This is queer. This is confusion. So she says she has those children. And someone told her that we're not having enough queer lead characters. Not the characters, but the lead ones. So that's the problem that Disney found out and now are bound to correct. They are set to make changes to be able to accommodate more lead characters that are queer, so that children can begin to follow these queer lead characters as mentors. Just the same way they followed Hannah Montana, who later began to show signs of her worship to Satan. And now you imagine how many kids are going to follow her in that direction. This is Disney, your darling. Let's go forward.
Many
crazy?
LGBTQIA characters in our story.
So she says many LGBTQIA characters. Many in our stories. You probably didn't know that, but yeah.
Stories, and yet we don't have enough leads and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters and not have to be about gay stories. And so that's been very eye-opening for me.
Kids movies, by the way, if you just forgot what Disney
I can tell you, it's something that I feel perhaps had this moment not happened, I as a leader and me as my colleagues would not have focused on. And going forward, I certainly will be more so. I know that we will be. And I hope this is a moment where, the 50% of the tears, sorry, are coming. We just don't allow each other to go backwards.
Okay,